All right. Good morning, Monday morning mamas. We're going to give this just a minute to reach our Facebook audience. But while that's going on, I want to say hello to all the replay viewers and ask all of you that whether you're joining us live or on the replay today to make sure to give us some hearts, share this video with the moms that you know in your life who could use some Monday morning inspiration. So whether you've got a case of the Mondays, whether you have a case of the Mondays every day, I know that some of you, or maybe you're the type of mom who wakes up with inspiration and you're like, nobody else is enjoying mornings like me. So I want to go hang out with some people who enjoy mornings like I do. No matter which end of the spectrum you fall on, you are in the right place this morning. So welcome to the Monday Morning Mama Show, where we bring you fresh and fun inspiration every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time. This morning, we are on episode 12 of the Monday Morning Mama Show. And we've got a very interesting topic today called Teaching Without Teaching. You guys know that I'll be jumping in with the textbook definition and like a good homeschooling mom that I am. And then, of course, my guests and I will be discussing the topic with you. So I want to welcome all of you who are on live with this morning. Please comment down below. Tell us where you're joining us from. Say hello, and it's always more fun to interact with you if you have questions or comments as the show goes on. So I'm your hostess, Jessica Dugas. I am the co-owner of Just Determined and the founding member of the Moms Online Mastermind community. And it's in that group where we help moms to reduce the amount of stress and overwhelm in their lives, really love on them for who they are, and so that they can go through their life wearing this mom hat with a little bit more joy. And my guest this morning is my friend and colleague who is the founder of Abundant Thinkers Preschool all the way up in New Brunswick, Canada. I love technology for this reason, that we can connect in this way so far away. She is also the founding member of the Facebook group Exceptional Moms of Abundant Thinkers. She was my co-hostess for the Heart of the Home retreat that we did back on Mother's Day, and which was so much fun. And so I want to welcome you, Jen, to the show this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. I love connecting with different moms, love being connected with you again. It's been a while, and yeah, glad to bring, this topic is fantastic. So when you reached out to me, I was like, of course, this is what I do every day.
I know. I was like, who should I, hello, Jen McDonald. So really excited to have you here this morning. So I want to jump right into the topic because you guys know that time goes super quick in the morning. So teaching without teaching. I want you to let us know below, when you hear that phrase, what does that mean to you? I'd also love to know if any of you are teachers in a school. If you're, maybe you're a homeschooling family and you're a mom that's also a teacher, maybe you teach as part of your business or your job, let us know in the comments what kind of teacher you are if you feel that you are one. So Jen, in what ways are you a teacher? Other than, I know you have the preschool, but what other ways do you consider yourself to be a teacher?
Okay, well, I know you love definitions, so I came up with my own definition of what I think means to teach. And for me, it's sharing of knowledge. And when I think of that, you know, the old wisdom, and, you know, you see the Indians and they impact their wisdom, and it's all from the ancestors down. And for me, a lot of the times I'm learning a lot more from the younger generation up. And that's a lot of the case, is being taught by them. So I think for me, being a teacher is just sharing what I know, just sharing. I share in different communities that I'm at, and I'm just telling my version of the stories. And, you know, it is stories, because everything that we do in everyday life, it's a story. So I'm just telling you how it's working in my story, in my chapter, and it either resonates with you and you can jump on board and ask me questions, or, you know, it doesn't, and that's okay. But tell me your story. So then I'm learning from you. You know, I learned my morning challenge. We did a challenge, so I learned to have a morning routine from Jessica. Well, then I'm sharing that knowledge and how it's working for me. So I think it's just the interchange of conversations, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody, in my opinion, is a teacher. So I am teaching every day when I talk to somebody. They're either getting the message or not getting the message.
I love that, and I think that's such a good message for people to hear who maybe feel like maybe there's a mom watching who doesn't homeschool. She sends her kids to school every day, and she doesn't work for herself. She's at home. She's doing the mom thing, which is the hardest job in the world. And maybe she doesn't feel like she's a teacher. Maybe she doesn't feel like, I think a lot of times, I know when I homeschool now, but when my kids were in public school, I really didn't feel like I had a hand in that. I didn't feel like a teacher. I just felt like a mom. I didn't feel like anything like that. And so I think that's important that you, regardless, even if you're watching and you don't have kids, you're still teaching. You're still, putting yourself out into the world and unless you sit in your house all day by yourself. I mean, maybe that's you too. You're teaching yourself something at that point, but you're always teaching. And I think that that's a really important point to make. Like I mentioned, I am a homeschooling mom. I have 6 children, so 2 of mine are 1 and 3, and they're learning right now, but not in like the school sense. And for us, the whole idea of teaching without teaching really had to come into play, because it was a lot of the reason why we became a homeschooling family. Because when you're in school, in the classroom environment, especially now, like how many kids do they have in a class up there?
It can go, I think, 21 to 28. It depends on the age.
Yeah. Like that's a lot per teacher. And so they're on this curriculum and they can only teach so much individually, and every child is so different that it really gave us the opportunity when we started homeschooling to say, okay, how does each individual child needs to learn? And with some of ours, a couple of ours just don't respond very well to the book work. Like they're more hands-on, and so with them, I have to come up with a lot of these opportunities to teach them without them feeling like they're in this classroom environment. So it's been really interesting as far as that goes. But the textbook definition, which I found was really interesting, and it goes exactly along with what you're saying, is to impart a knowledge or skill. And the second part of that is to give instruction. Mm-hmm. So impart knowledge or skill or give instruction. And it's always amusing to me when I look up the definitions, because especially with this one, it's right along with what you say. I expected to look it up and be like, instruction be the number one part of the definition, and it wasn't. And so really interesting to look that up as well. So other than you teaching in the preschool, and you're also you feel like you're teaching everywhere and all the time where you go, why do you think it's important to teach without necessarily teaching, without like having this plan or curriculum?
Okay, it all goes back to, think about your school experiences, okay? And do you remember the curriculum? 37 years later, do you remember everything that you learned?
Only the fun ones, like the things that really stick out.
Okay. So like for myself too, like I had to think about that. It's like, what do I remember? Well, I remember the hallways. Like I remember the hallways, the smells, the people. I remember the teachers. I remember, different experiences. But what I remember most was the teachers coming with passion and teaching from passion. So like I had a history teacher. I had no interest in history, but I loved history that year because of the teacher. I don't remember much of it, but I just remember loving the subject. Same with math. I did calculus in summer school. I was not a math student. And because of the teacher and the students that I was with in the classroom, I ended up with 80%. So I ended up with an A in math, which is not me. So I think it's important when you create the relationship with the teacher and the students in the classroom, and you have that community and that sense of belonging, it doesn't matter about the curriculum. When you have that foundation of trust and the relationship, anybody can learn anything from you, because then you're going to bring your passion to the table. You're going to bring what lights you up. And I'm going to use this analogy because it's my new one I made up yesterday, and it's fantastic. So think about a lighthouse, okay? And it's the foggiest day in the lake, like on the lake, okay? And there's this lighthouse, and the lighthouse is always there, and it's always got the light on, okay? And it's always sharing its message. So the teacher is the lighthouse. I'm always standing at the front of the room, and I'm sharing my light, and I'm shedding my light because I'm doing what's passionate. You're in the boat. It depends on where you are in your boat if you're going to see the light or not. Okay, so the teacher's job is just to teach and be passionate. Am I going to get to everybody? No, some people might see glimmers of the light. Some people might see nothing of the light, and they don't even know why they're coming closer, but they're trusting you, and they're trusting you. And all of a sudden they get in front of you, and it's as clear as the bell, all the fog is lifted, and then they get it. And you can teach anything to them in that moment.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think you could even take it farther, you know, saying, does the lighthouse stand there and say, hello, I'm a lighthouse? No. Yeah. No, they don't. They just do. They do what they're supposed to do. They emit that light so that the boats can see them and come in. And I'm so glad you used that analogy, because you know I love the ocean and I love everything about the water. So it's perfect. I get this analogy. I'm good. I was worried when you said analogy. I'm like, I'm not going to get this. So yeah, like the lighthouse doesn't need to be like, so today I'm going to tell you how to get to the shore. No, they just do what they're supposed to do and get the boats to the shore. And I think that that's important. And I was thinking about this topic even as it pertains to my business, because I knew, you know, from a standpoint of what I do in my work, that I was going to have to teach mom something. But I don't like to be that. I don't want to be like the stand in front of the moms and be like, okay, now you need to do this, and now you need to do this. And so it's really funny because a lot of people, I had some comments. We're almost at the year. Tomorrow's 1 year anniversary of my group. Really excited. Woo woo.
Happy 1 year.
I can't believe that it's been a year, how fast it's gone. But back in the beginning, you know, when you're trying to figure out how to start your business, and especially with Facebook groups, it's such like a dramatic experience. And, you know, everybody's trying to tell you like how you should make posts and how often you should post and things like that. And I've always gone back to being really structured. And when I was thinking about this topic for today, I was like, this is a way that I teach without teaching, because I teach structure. I do a lot of classes around scheduling, around the importance of balance and structure in your life. And so by me living that example in my group of saying, okay, this is when posts come out, this is how we do things in this group, it's teaching them the importance of structure without teaching. And it's funny because how many times people have come back to me, even though I've had this thing in my mind of, oh, it's too structured. How many times people have come back to me and said that it's, one, either taught them something about scheduling, or two, that it brings them peace. Like they can come to a group that's organized, that's, you know, not dramatic and all this other stuff. And so it's nice to, when you do teach without teaching, when you realize the impact that it has on other people.
It is crucial, but it's only crucial to the people that it resonates for, right? So, you know, we need structure as much as, you know, we think that kids, especially children, like you always think, oh, I don't want to impose a structure or a schedule on them. They do need that. We need that. We need that, or else we're going to run in chaos. So just know that, like, you're going to attract certain people to you. And I'm going to attract certain people to me. And then as we move on in life, you're going to attract even different people because you're a different person. So sometimes we see failed relationships or failed friendships as is a failure, as a, but it's just that we're growing that this is the one thing I remember from my history teacher, right? And this is the only thing I remember from that class is he talked about us being boats, right? And so we're doing this path of the river and we're like on the boat. And then sometimes this boat might go into a different direction and then they might come back, but you're going to take your path and they're going to come and go, right? So it's the not attaching to anything. It's just being and allowing us to flow and then flow into life. And so you're teaching through the flow. And some of us need to be more scheduled and some of us need less structure and some, so it's taking that person where they're at. That's the other thing. It's like scaffolding, like with children, especially, it's like I'm holding your boat as you're steering. So I'm going to help you along those bumpy paths because I'm almost like God's hands, right? So I'm guiding you. But if you want to go over here, and I know that's not a good spot for you to go, we'll go there. But I'm also going to be there for when you're having a hard time or when you need the support. But I'm not going to jump into your boat and take over the steering wheel. And that's how I feel like teaching is. Right. It's not only sharing your knowledge, but it's holding them and guiding them to where because kids have their own voices. And that's what I really believe because I was abused as a child and I had my voice taken away. I'm all about being authentic and giving voices back to children, but doing it in a gentle, guiding way.
Right. And and I think it goes back to standing there and just, even though the boat may not be ready to come to shore, to stand there and be the lighthouse anyway, to teach anyway, because people are, like you said, they're going to come to you when they're ready on their journey. And so that's why I think it's important for everyone, like we mentioned in the beginning, to consider yourself as a teacher, no matter whether you think you are or not, because you're spreading your light to the world, and people are going to resonate that when the time's right for them. I know that I sat there, even in teaching my children in homeschool and in leading my group, there's been many times in the past where I have sat there and I'm like, does anybody even hear me? Does it even matter? Hello? I feel like the teacher on Charlie Brown, wah, 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 in the speaker. Like, does it even matter what I'm saying right now? And the truth is that it does. Eventually the kids come and they ask questions, or they want to explore further, or, my clients come and be like, hey, I remember you said this 6 months ago. I totally let it go in one ear and out the other, but can you tell me about this now? And so I think it's important to remember that you are teaching all the time. It goes back to exactly, how you said you feel about it. And so you also mentioned in the beginning about being taught by the children. Have you always felt that way, or how has that kind of shifted for you?
I won't lie. I did social work before, and I'm like, oh my God, I've seen it all. Like, there's nothing you can throw at me that I haven't seen. I've been in houses where there's mice running around in pizza boxes, and where there's abuse and moms showing up high on meth. Like, I thought I saw it all and I thought I got it, but I wasn't learning from the children then. I was still like, oh, I'm the power white woman taking control. And it wasn't until I started in the teaching field when I'm like, no, I don't know everything. And I don't know where these kids are coming from. And I have no idea. Even still now, I've been doing this since I was 26 years old. I'm 37 now, so I'm still learning from them. I had one boy last year, he was very in tune with nature, and we had a funeral for a worm. And I was like, why are we having this funeral for a worm? And then I was the officiant of this funeral. I'm like, I don't know how to officiate a funeral. So, here I am. I'm like, okay, I'm welcoming everybody to the worm's funeral. And does anyone have anything nice to say about the worm? And he said we didn't know you very long, like literally 5 minutes. Okay. So we didn't know you very long, but we loved you. And you know what? It was like,
Aw.
Oh, it just broke my heart. And then when the parents came to pick the kids up, he's like, we just believe in everything life. And I was like, no, wow. Like, so they're so philosophical, and like you end up like thrown into teaching is the best thing because you don many hats, but you also take on some roles in some job careers that you never thought in your life you would do. But here I am, like, I am now a funeral director, so I can put that on my resume.
Yes, that's awesome. I mean, you should just put that right on your business card now. I mean, Worm funeral director. It should just be right there with everything else. No, and I think it's such a good it's a good point to make, and especially for moms. Let's just talk about parents for a minute, because I think that we get in this space where we feel like, okay, I have to be the authoritarian, I have to be the teacher, I have to be the mom, I have to lay the law down, and this is the way it has to go. And we forget that we can learn lessons back. And a lot of it and I think with a lot of this topics, whether we're talking about mom, an actual, school teacher, or a business person, a lot of this goes back to listening.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we don't listen, we're never going to learn anything.
Yes.
And we have such an opportunity to learn from our children. And I think so many of us are, and this is how appropriate with the full moon today, release and let this go. You don't have to be afraid to let down your guard a little bit. Take the mom hat off for a second and realize how much you can learn back from your child.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say, like, lecturing, like if you've ever been in a university lecture hall, do you enjoy being lectured to, or do you like to have a conversation? So, okay, I'm going to use the example. I have many, but this morning, my son, offensive language, here it comes, okay?
You're on fire this morning.
Like running around the house like a lunatic, and I'm going, oh my God, you were crazy. And then I'm like, okay, the new moon, so that, clicked in. So then he comes up on the bed and he's angry, and I said, oh, are you angry? I'm fucking mad. And he goes like, he has like his little fist, and he's like, grr. And so the mom in me, okay, here's where your mom teaching, your mom's like, don't say that word, that's a bad word, blah, 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 blah. And then the human part, because teaching comes from the heart. Stop doing it from here, go more from here. So the inner one goes, oh, wow, you're having a really hard time, and you're having a hard time with having a hard time. So I was like, is there anything that you need? Right? So then this is what I said to him. See that you're mad, like really mad. And he looks at me and I said, is there anything I can do for you? And he just looked at me and then calmed right down, like a whole different, just because I'm asking him. I didn't comment on his swearing. I'm trying not to laugh. I could have gone two directions. So, and that's with teaching. Like, you can go with your head and be like, I'm going to bring the smack down. You're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. You can go there and want to scream and throttle them. Or you can take that, put it in your heart center and go, wow, you're having a hard time right now. How is it that I can help you? What can I do? Can I even help you? But sometimes the fire, I'm going to do a video on this actually, because I love nature. I'm doing a video today on disease and discomfort. And sometimes, as horrible as it is, as a teacher, as a mom, you have to let someone sit in their discomfort. Right?
Yeah.
And so,
that's important.
So donning the mom hat, I always think you have all the answers inside of you. You have to take it from here and put it in here, because what's in here is your shit, and what is in here is what your kids need.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so important. I want to mention, before we start closing up, I want to mention how important this is, how important I feel this is for you as moms, because I feel like moms have a different, we have a different chemical makeup. We just do. And that changes after we have kids too. You all know it. Just admit it right now. And so, but we have this unconditional love. For the most part, most moms have this innate ability to love and bring joy no matter what else is going on. And I think that this idea of listening and teaching without teaching can come so much easier to a mom than it does to men, to fathers, anything like that. That it's just a different way it is. I know that I am much more patient with the children than my husband is, and it may not always be like that. You know, a lot of it depends on upbringing and things like that too. But my point is that I want moms to think today about what a privilege it is for you to be chemically made up the way that you are, so that if you try, you know, if you set the intention of, I'm going to teach my children, I am going to give the example of patience, I'm going to exhibit these virtues. Hi, sweetheart. If I make the choice to do these things, I can do it, because this is the way I'm made up. So that's why I would challenge all of the moms watching today to think of some different ways that you can go through each day to teach your children without actually teaching. You can teach them about patience. You can teach them about love and kindness, and ways that we're automatically made up. Like, whatever you're like, you can teach it.
Yeah. We do a song for patients. We always tell them, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Go see Dad.
Yes, that's a good thing.
So lots of songs and lots of here you go. Here you go, 1 second, sorry. Yeah, you know, just making it fun. And, you know, like you said, it's just going to come innately through them. And mom is an amazing job. You know, we don't always think that. But you know what? When you're feeling the burnout, and it's like teachers do, when you're feeling the burnout, grab a drink, go with friends, do whatever you have to do to get back to that loving, the loving center. Because, you know what? We have been privileged with an amazing role.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have such an opportunity to teach in everything that you do as a mom. And it is the best, in my opinion, job in the world to be a mom. And so definitely take advantage of the opportunity you have to teach without teaching.
Yeah. You are your child's first teacher. Okay.
Yes.
So they're going to either love teaching or love learning or hate learning because of the foundation that you set in place.
Yes, for sure. All right, Jen. So tell everybody how they can connect with you if they're up in the New Brunswick area, either for the preschool or if they are online. How can they connect with you and find out more about what you do and learn more about teaching?
Yes. Well, we're going to be launching a new website. And so it's going to be Abundant Thinkers. So it's like abundant-thinkers.com. I'm working with Grimm right now, and we're going to get that up and launched fairly soon. I am working on a preschool starter kit program, which will be coming out whenever it is meant to come out. It's been a process. I have the Facebook page, Abundant Thinkers, where you can follow us and see what we're doing and what goes on down here in New Brunswick, Canada. We're in St. Stephen. Or you can join the Exceptional Moms Club, which has taken on a bit of a new look and a new, it's basically going to help moms realize how wonderful they are, but also show them that they can teach, because teaching just comes, and a lot of people are like afraid. We're going to give them some tips and tricks, and you know, I'll show you the curriculum guidelines, and because some people don't know, but it's good to have all the stuff in your back pocket. So it's going to be a really interesting year as we kind of rebrand and regroup. So that's the Exceptional Moms of Abundant Thinkers. It's in a group, and I can give you the link. But Facebook for right now, or you can shoot me an email at abundantthinkers@gmail.com.
Awesome. And I've been a part of the Exceptional Moms Club for a while, and I just love, Jen does a show as well in the fall. Are you starting that back up again this fall? Yes, awesome. And I've been a guest on that show as well. So we're just trading guest spots here, which is totally fine. And so really awesome content and everything in that group. And it's another space where I feel like, if you guys are tired of the typical mommy groups, then I mean, definitely the Exceptional Moms community and the Moms Online Mastermind are really the positive and uplifting places to be, because otherwise it's like you're getting caught in the normal mommy group rat race, and I'm beyond that anymore. I just can't do it anymore. So really enjoyable place to be. Also, as we're talking about teaching without teaching today, know that you cannot teach, you cannot lead, you cannot be the kind of mom that you want to be without loving and appreciating yourself and filling your cup first. It's so important, and that's what we really specialize in the Moms Online Mastermind community, really reducing the amount of stress in your life and helping you to be the kind of mom that you want to be. You can find out more about the community, which has several different levels of membership from free on up. You can go to www.momsonlinemastermind.club and check us out there. So next week, we are going to be back for episode 13, very important topic, close to my heart, and just what we were talking about mindfulness and mindset with my guest, Nicole Ivins. So until next week, thank you so much, Jen, again, for being here today. And I am Jessica Dugas, reducing stress in the world, one mom at a time. Have a fantastic week, everybody.